Good morning! This is where my morning started, and actually it started with a nice cup of tea and my first birthday present from Nicole, which is this shirt made by C'est Normal. And if you know that brand, you also know the people behind the brand, who are Yanni and Yun. But I want to talk more about those people in an upcoming vlog or a video, because that might have something to do with me actually vlogging what they are doing and how I intend to do my things and my thoughts around all of that. However, the start of my birthday, I thought it would be kind of fitting to start the new year and the upcoming year with a bit of a cleanup. I have this cupboard right there. I have this whole room. I have storage on the, not the basement, but under the roof part thing. Anyways, my thinking is I'm gonna clear out a bit of stuff here because I wanna feel lighter coming into the next year. And yeah, for doing that and for feeling that, it is time for some getting rid of stuff, I would say. I don't really know what it is about clearing out like a whole cupboard of stuff that just, it has some logic to it, but it's also a lot of stuff that I don't really use that often. But it kind of brings me into this predicament between I don't use it often, but when I need something, it's really good to have the storage and to know, well, at some point I at least had something that would fit the situation right now. For example, an adapter screw for a tripod, or a certain kind of cable that you never really need or use, but then you remember that you had one of those lying around and you could just search for that. So that's a really good feeling, but I also have always been a big fan of minimalism. And so right now, this means sorting through stuff, getting rid of stuff that definitely will not be used again, maybe selling some things, which I have a whole box full right here. And at the same time, I just got a new package because I essentially got reached out by a person or a campaign that is running an Indiegogo campaign. And so they asked me if I could advertise their product. And I basically said, well, I cannot review your product or make any posts about it if I don't know the product. So they offered to send one out. And I think that is this package right here. Yep, pretty much. The basic premise of this product right here is that it will help with like lighting up on your computer essentially. And this box right here, reused paper, I think that's really nice of them to do. And then you have a USB-C to USB-A charger. And essentially the idea of this product right here is that you can open this up and you basically hang this somehow to your computer. And I will have to figure that out, of course. But essentially you open it up, there's like sensors and stuff that notice whether or not you are at your computer, and then you can hang this over so that you have light at your keyboard. And it is made for like having it around your laptop for nighttime work and also for daytime work, I think. But I will have to try this out, see how it goes, how the product works, and if it is what they say that it is, and if it works the way that they prescribe. And then I will let you know in a specific video about this to see what I think about it. And as I mentioned, this kind of brings me into these situations where I have tons of stuff lying around and I don't know where to put those things and what to do with everything. Sometimes it's the best thing to just sell stuff and or get rid of certain things that are not really that useful anymore. I think it's kind of crazy how much stuff in this cupboard here is, or in these drawers. However, there's also one strong thing or one strong indicator as to why there is so much stuff. For one, as I'm not traveling, I feel like I also want to live in a space. So there are things that I usually would not have with me because I am living in other people's spaces. That, however, also brings me to a criticism that I have of certain people that are always like, I don't know, saying they only own 100 things. And oftentimes, and I'm not saying that it's always the case, but oftentimes that may be true if you count the things that you have in your backpack, but wherever you go, you still live with everything that is, for example, in the Airbnb that you live in or the hotel that you live in, and so on and so forth. So you are still using way more than those 100 things. Now, that's not to say that it's not good to travel with even less or own less and stuff like that. But for example, as I live in the space, I have plants. I have things like these things here, which is usually not something that I travel with. A stapler and a thing that makes holes into paper. But if you are in a place for a long enough period of time, it might come in handy to have those kind of things around. And it just doesn't make any sense to only have the things that you literally use every single day, because you are going to run into those situations where you need more than just those literal things that are used every single day. Now, is it worth it to get rid of all of those things just because I don't use them every single day? Right now, I don't think so. Right now, I think it makes sense to have a space where you live in continuously and fill it up with the things that are making sense for you as you need them. Of course, you shouldn't just go out and buy everything that you think you will ever need, but as it fills up, just be okay with it. And with that, I also have to be okay with just bringing a lot of the things that are now here on the floor back into these drawers because they fit those criteria, at least some of them. And now I have to take a break because Nicole came back and brought food for lunch, but we have to prepare it. So the first topic I would say is probably like, what are we making? And it has basically a very Bavarian meal. And we are making potato balls. In German it's called Klöße. And you make it with like a potato dough, basically. And then they're round and all that. Then we have Haxe.
It's kind of a pig leg.
Yeah, it's a piece of a pig leg. There's like a bone in there. And in this case, it is pre-made or partially pre-made.
They're
by
1.5 pounds.
Yeah, what is the name of the... It's the butcher, basically.
I think so. We will show.
Metzger. So that, and we'll make some sauce, and that goes into the oven. And the Klöße, so the potato balls, have to be cooked. And all of that next 20 minutes.
So that's the huge baby, pre-cooked and
grilled, basically.
Yeah, grilled basically. All we do is put it in the oven, warm it up a bit and enjoy.
Yeah. While all those things were cooking, or are cooking, I actually got another package or a bit of a, I don't know, letter. And that is from CPS, which is basically the Canon professional service. Because now with all the lenses that I recently got for the project, as I've mentioned so many times, I now qualify to be a silver member. And I just want to show you, basically, there's a letter that they send you, and they are welcoming me to the team, essentially, but it kind of describes what the CPS service gives you in terms of like, sometimes you are eligible for example, a kit when you give yourself or your own kit to repairs. They give you a kit for working continuously. And you also get priority service when you have repairs that need to be done. And depending on where you are in terms of the event that you are shooting, you might even get special service there. For example, the Olympics are one of those things if you are shooting those kinds of events. And then there's this little thing here, this, I don't know, really high quality feeling paper thing. And as you open that up, you're greeted with the 1DX and probably the, I don't know, maybe the 1DX Mark II. And then opening that up further, You have my membership card. There are stickers for the CPS priority service that you can be basically fast-tracked when you have repairs or stuff like that. And there's a cleaning cloth for your camera. And then the card essentially is something that you should bring with you whenever you have some repairs to be done, or show or give them the number that you have so that they know who you are in their system. So that's really cool and kind of fitting that it came on my birthday. I think it's really an interesting feeling to be in one brand of equipment so much so that you actually feel like you belong there. But now all of this has to move because we need to make more cooking stuff. Yeah. And usually I'm not necessarily a huge fan of, for example, these pre-made sauces. But today we did not want to go all out and make everything ourselves because, I don't know, leisure and stuff like that.
It's okay to be lazy sometimes.
Yes. So you are supposed to put 2 of these. Everything at the same time. It's like Grüße, sauce, Blaukraut, and the thing to heat it up in the oven.
The thing. Haxe. Haxe is a typical German word. Haxe.
It's like Krankenhaus. Everybody always does those things on TikTok and stuff like that, like hospital and hospital, and they are really nice sounding words. And for us, the hospital is Krankenhaus, and doesn't sound like that. You usually don't say it like that, but people like to make fun of it, just like they like to make fun of ja and nein, which is not actually the way that you say it.
Oh, so.
What?
So.
What is so?
So is the way you end a conversation.
Yes.
So.
So. So is lunch finished? I am back on my room duty because it's not really better yet. So the floor is clear again, and I threw a ton of stuff out. Other stuff went into the selling box. And then I have this little box right here, which will be brought up to the storage under the roof in the coming few days and probably sorted into the appropriate boxes because I don't want to just leave it in that box. And there are other boxes, which kind of makes sense when I sort it all like that. It feels kind of good, and especially having a bit more organization like this, where things are in the boxes according to topics and stuff like that. And then I have a bunch of cables and things like those. But I think for today that should wrap up the documentation of this day. I will go on a walk with Nicole about just now. Then she has a yoga class that she's teaching online and in her studio. If you want to check that out, you can do so with the link below in the description. I will leave it there. But of course, she's doing the yoga classes in German. And then I think I'm just going to, I don't know, enjoy the evening a little bit. Do my 10,000 steps, edit and publish yesterday's video. And I hope to see you in the next video tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.